Hey, Cules. Picture this. It's a hot night in Barcelona, one of those nights when the Mediterranean air clings to your skin like a bad defender marking you in Lewandowski. And suddenly, in the Camp Nou offices, chaos erupts, worse than Araujo's last-minute goal against Madrid. Joan Laporta, the president who seems to have a radar for both controversy and glory, is sitting in his office, surrounded by papers with budgets that make your head spin and photos of trophies that shine brighter than the egos of some ex-players. Across from him, with that prodigy smile that already looks like a veteran's, sits LAMINE YAMAL, the 17-year-old kid who's turned world football upside down. This isn't an ordinary meeting. It's the moment when LAMINE, with the confidence of someone born with a ball at their feet, admits to whom he thinks the Ballon d'Or should go this year. And no, this isn't bar gossip. It's a leak that exploded like a firecracker in a Champions League final. But let's take it step by step, because this isn't just football gossip. It's the story of how a kid from Mataró is redefining Barça and the king of sports. It all started a few months earlier, when LAMINE YAMAL burst into the first team like he was the new Cule Messiah, but with less religious hype and more dribbling in the box. Remember his debut at the Bernabeu, that masterful goal that left Courtois staring at the sky like he was asking for divine explanations. Since then, the football world hasn't stopped talking about him. Journalists, analysts, even grandmas at La Boqueria market comment on his moves. And it's not for nothing. With 18 goals and 25 assists last season, LAMINE didn't just help Barça win La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Supercopa. He was the glue holding together a team that, let's be honest, sometimes looks like a puzzle with missing pieces. Hansi Flick, the coach who arrived like a German hurricane to reorganize the Cule chaos, made him the pivot of the attack, and the kid responded with a maturity that would make even veterans like Xavi blush thinking back to their own beginnings. But let's get back to that confession. According to the leak that spread like wildfire on social media and in the halls of the sports press, LAMINE stands in front of Laporta and drops this: "President, the Ballon d'Or is mine this year." Imagine the scene. Laporta, with his glasses and that shark-like gaze that negotiates impossible transfers, stays silent for a moment, digesting. Is this youthful arrogance or pure conviction? Because LAMINE isn't saying this lightly. In previous interviews, like the one with José Ramón de la Morena, he'd already hinted that he was totally convinced he'd win it, even though the journalist had downplayed it, saying maybe this year was too soon and he was aiming more for the Copa Trophy, the Under-21 award. But in private, with Laporta, the kid holds nothing back. He explains that his stats don't lie: assists that tear through defenses like paper, goals that decide key matches, and an impact in the locker room that makes veterans like Lewandowski look at him with respect, not jealousy. "If I win the Champions League and help Spain at the Club World Cup, no one will be able to stop me," he says, according to the leaked audio that fell into the hands of club insiders. And here's the humor, Cules. Imagine Laporta responding to LAMINE: "Kid, if you pull that off, I'll renew you until 2050. But don't make me sign Holland to compete with you." It's one of those internal jokes that circulate at Barça to lighten the mood, but the core of it is serious. Laporta knows LAMINE is the future, the asset that can save the club's finances after years of economic storms. Remember how obsessed the president was with signing stars like Holland? But now that Yamal is breaking through, maybe it's no longer necessary to spend fortunes. The leak reveals that Laporta, during this discussion, promises the young man all the protection possible. Exclusive physios, a minute management plan to avoid injuries. Because, Cules, we've already had the scare with that controversy over his recent injury that left us all with our hearts in our throats, and even a leadership role in the team. "You're Barca's beacon," Laporta tells him, and LAMINE nods with that humility that contrasts with his overflowing talent. But let's dig deeper into who LAMINE YAMAL is, because this confession didn't come out of nowhere. Born in Mataró on July 13, 2007, to Moroccan parents, his father is from Tetuan and his mother from Kenitra, LAMINE joined Barça at age 7 in 2014, and from day one, he stood out at La Masia. Those training grounds, where the grass seems greener than anywhere else, forge legends. Remember how, at just 15, he made his first team debut in the Copa del Rey against Intercity, and a year later, in the Supercopa against Madrid, he scored that goal that made us jump off the couch. Cules, do you remember that play? He dribbled past 3 defenders like they were cones, and the ball nestled neatly into the top corner. That was the moment the world realized, this kid isn't just a prodigy, he's a revolution. His meteoric rise isn't just about raw talent, there's hard work behind it. LAMINE trains like a man possessed, with a discipline that pros would envy. In interviews, he talks about his family. his mother, Camisa, who's always been by his side, his father, Munir, who instills values in him, and his grandmother, always there with a plate of couscous to recharge his energy. Without them, I wouldn't be here, he says. And it's one of those lines that sounds like a cliché, but it's the truth. At Barça, he's had to face enormous pressure. The expectation is that he'll become the new Messi, a comparison that, let's admit, is a lead weight for anyone. The criticism about his youth, and even absurd controversies like that birthday party with dwarf actors turned into a media circus. But Lamine handles it with grace, laughing in private and focusing on the ball. Now, the Ballon d'Or. This award, which since 1956 has honored the world's best player, has been the territory of legends like Messi, 8 times, Cristiano, 5 times, and icons like Pelé or Maradona. This year, 2025, the ceremony is on September 22 in Paris, and the competition is fierce. Lamine is in direct contention with Ousmane Dembele, his ex-teammate at Barça and now PSG star, who had a monster season with goals and assists straight out of a video game. Other names are floating around: Vinicius from Madrid with his infernal speed, Bellingham, the English-Swiss army knife, and even Mbappe, always in the race. But Lamine, with his impact at Barça and with the Spanish national team, where he was decisive in winning the Euros, has strong arguments. In the league, Laporta admits he would vote for the best player of the year, but deep down, he knows the stats put Lamine in pole position. I'm not thinking about him because things are going badly, he says in an interview with Cope, but in private with the president, he lets loose. Let's talk numbers, because football is data and passion. In the 2024-25 season, Lamine racked up 18 goals and 25 assists across all competitions. In La Liga, he averages a goal or an assist every 70 minutes, something even established stars don't achieve. His successful dribble rate hovers around 70%, and in the Champions League, his crosses are lethal. Compared to Dembele, who has 22 goals and 18 assists, Lamine stands out for his playmaking. And let's not forget the national team. At the Euros, his goal in the final against England secured the title, and in the Nations League, he continues to shine. The leak mentions that Laporta, impressed, tells him, "Kid, if you win this, Camp Nou will build you a statue." Jokes aside, it's serious. The Ballon d'Or would propel Barça commercially, attracting sponsors and fans from around the world. But not everything is rosy. There are risks. Injuries, like the recent one that sidelined him for a few weeks, remind us he's human. Laporta warns him during their discussion, "Take care of yourself. The world is waiting for you, but your body won't forgive you." And Lamine talks about his routine: yoga for flexibility, a Mediterranean diet with Moroccan touches, and hours in the gym. Cules, if you're already hooked by this leaked confession and the way a 17-year-old kid sees his destiny so clearly, subscribe to the channel, because what comes next about his next steps at Barça is even more incredible and will leave you speechless. Let's move forward in the story. After this discussion with Laporta, Lamine leaves the office with renewed energy. Camp Nou is buzzing. Morning training session where Flick puts him to the test with possession drills that look like a ballet. Pedri, his inseparable friend, pats him on the back. "Bro, if you win the Ballon, I'll treat the whole team to paella." Laughter in the locker room, but behind it, it's serious. Barça under Flick has changed. More intensity, less drama. They won La Liga with spectacular football, bouncing back from a shaky start to the season. Lamine was key in the Clásico, with a virtual hat-trick, a goal, an assist, and an interception that launched the counterattack. Against Madrid, there's always that healthy rivalry, and Lamine admits in the leak that he dreams of beating them in the Champions League to seal his candidacy. Let's explore Lamine's impact on the Cule ecosystem. Economically, his market value exceeds €150 million. According to Transfermarkt, clubs like Madrid, impossible, he says, or City are drooling over him, but Laporta has tied him to the club until 2031. Socially, he's an icon. Anti-racism campaigns, hospital visits, and his Moroccan heritage make him a bridge between cultures. In an interview with RTVE, he admits, "Anyone who says they don't want the Ballon d'Or is lying. We all dream of it. It's honest, without arrogance." With humor, imagine if he wins. The memes of Lamine, the mini Messi eclipsing the boss, but seriously, it would elevate Barça, which needs a post-Messi idol. The competition is fierce. Dembele at PSG has exploded. Goals in finals, magical assists. Vinicius with his samba at Madrid, and Bellingham, the English engine. But LAMINE has the advantage of youth and the narrative, the prodigy who wins at a young age. AI predictions, like those from Transfermarkt, see him winning 3 Ballons d'Or in his career, even with other clubs, surprise, 2 with Madrid in 2035, but for now, he's at Barça. In the leak, Laporta tells him, "I'm counting on you to lead the comeback in the Champions League." Barça is in the semi-finals against Inter, and LAMINE dreams of the final. Think about his technical evolution. His left foot is poetry, impossible curves, powerful shots. Defensively, he's improved, winning back balls like a young Conte. Flick praises him. He's special but modest. In the national team, they adore him. Winning the Euros at 16 was historic. Now, the Club World Cup is his next trophy. The leak reveals that LAMINE sees the Ballon as a step toward immortality. And click that subscribe button, Cules, because you won't see this in any news broadcast. Here, we dissect leaks with details that will give you chills. Let's continue the story. A few days after the confession, LAMINE scores a stunning goal against Atletico in the Copa del Rey semi-final. The stadium roars. Laporta applauds from the stands. In private, he sends him a WhatsApp, "Keep it up. The gold is yours." The kid responds with a trophy emoji. But there are clouds, media pressure. Magazines like France Football name him the favorite, but doubts arise, he's too young. LAMINE answers on the pitch, a brace against Girona, a magical assist against Valencia. Stats, 70% pass accuracy, 4.5 dribbles per game. Compared to Messi at his age, a similar impact. In his personal life, LAMINE is an open book. He loves Moroccan rap, plays FIFA with friends, and dreams of an invincible Barça. His family is his anchor. Dinners at home, advice from his father. The recent injury, a hamstring strain, kept him out, but he came back stronger. Laporta, protective, hires experts for his recovery. The leak includes tender details. LAMINE cries with emotion when talking about the Ballon, remembering his grandfather who watched him play in the street. Cules, here he is, LAMINE YAMAL, still on that Camp Nou balcony, looking at the stars as if he could reach them with a dribble. The night breeze caresses his face, and the echo of the fans' chants still rings in his head, as if the stadium had a life of its own. This leak, this confession to Laporta about the Ballon d'Or, isn't just a headline setting social media on fire. It's the reflection of a kid who, at 17, carries the weight of a historic club and a city that breathes football. And Cules, if these behind-the-scenes stories about LAMINE's life make you vibrate, subscribe to the channel, because these Barça stories, you won't find them in any news broadcast, and there's still so much more to tell. The leak also affects his rivals. At PSG, Dembele, who remains friends with LAMINE, sends him a message, "Little bro, see you at the ceremony, but first in the Champions League." It's a friendly jab, but with fire. At Madrid, Vinicius, another Ballon contender, posts a video of himself training with the Capitan, silent work. It's the Cold War of football, and LAMINE is at the center. At Camp Nou, staff prepare the stadium for Inter. The pitch, immaculate, awaits LAMINE's dribbles. The fans, in the stands, already chant his name during warm-ups. A banner reads, "Yamal, the King of Mataro." He, from the balcony, sees it all. He knows the leak has put him in the spotlight, but he also knows he has the ball at his feet. And at that moment, with Barcelona at his feet, LAMINE takes a deep breath, ready to write his story.